Today our verse is Luke chapter 3 verse 1. In the 15th year of the reign of Tiberius Caesar, Pontius Pilate being governor of Judea, and Herod being tetrarch of Galilee, and his brother Philip tetrarch of the region of Ituraea and Trachonitis, and Lysanias tetrarch of Abilene. Luke often gives historical details to situate the story of the life of Jesus. At the beginning of his gospel, he tells the readers that John the Baptist was born during the reign of King Herod, if you read Luke chapter 1 verse 5. In the same way, he emphasizes that Jesus was born within the historical context of the census declared by Caesar Augustus when Quirinius was governor of Syria, if you read Luke chapter 2 verse 1 to 2. In our verse, Luke tells us that the Roman emperor had changed. Many years had passed, and Luke introduces the beginning of Jesus' mission with the preaching of John the Baptist. Why are the persons mentioned in our verse important? First, Luke wants to show that he was not writing a fictional story. He has factual details of what happened in history. Second, that his story is verifiable and can be contrasted with the other histories at the time. And finally, that John the Baptist and indeed Jesus were historical persons. Let us look at the persons mentioned in the verse. First, Tiberius Caesar was the successor of Caesar Augustus, who ruled from 14 to 37 AD. This reference helps us to situate John the Baptist's ministry around AD 28. Tiberius was also the emperor during Jesus' ministry. Pontius Pilate ruled from AD 26 to 36 and presided over Jesus' trial. Although little is known about him, there are indications, especially from Philo, that he had a turbulent reign as governor. This period was characterized by theft, dishonesty, violence, and the frequent execution of untried prisoners. Jesus was one of such persons. The three sons of Herod the Great are mentioned. After the death of Herod the Great, the kingdom of Judea was divided among his sons. Herod Antipas controlled Galilee and Perea, Archelaus ruled Samaria, Judea and Idumea, and Philip governed the small enclaves northeast of the Sea of Galilee, which composed primarily of Syrians and Greeks. These names are important in the Gospel of Luke, especially when Luke describes the beheading of John the Baptist and what led to it. The next verse in this chapter will explore more names, this time the religious leaders at the time. Luke lays the foundation for his gospel, identifying historical figures which will be part of his story of the life, mission, and death of John the Baptist and Jesus. What do we learn from this verse? History is important for us to understand the life of Jesus. We cannot separate the events of the time from the narratives of the gospel. The events help us to understand the life of Jesus better. They help us understand the reason certain people acted in a particular manner. For instance, Herod Antipas was raised in Rome, and that background gave him an edge to rule over Galilee of the Gentiles, if you read Matthew chapter 4 verse 15, because of the large Gentile population and its proximity to the Greek cities. He also respected the Jewish religious customs, if you read Luke chapter 3 19 to 20, or chapter 9 7 to 9, and chapter 23 6 to 12. To have a good understanding of the life, mission, and death of Jesus, we must always try to understand the life situation at the time. That would also help us to relate with the Bible and situate it in our own time today. Lord, please help us to see the scriptures as a living book which can influence our present history. Amen. God bless you, and I wish you a wonderful day.